Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, October 4th, 2014, and you are watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Descalfani, and this is my good buddy, Bruce Oler. Matt Martin's not here today.
No, he's not.
He's not. So we want to give a shout out to Matt and say, wake up. Anyway, you're joining us on the InRadio.com TV network, broadcasting to the world here from the InRadio studios here in the beautiful Village Music Shoppy in the great state of New York. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right so far. We got a pretty good show for you today. Not that we never have a good show.
Well, that's a positive attitude to have.
I like to watch, Jimmy Fallon and whatever. And Jimmy Fallon's always saying, "We got a great show for you tonight, and we got a great show." But they're always supposed to have a great show.
That's right.
I mean, why would tonight be any better? Well, I guess if we had like a special guest or something.
Yes, that could be.
Although we do have a special guest today.
We do.
We're bringing our good pal, 13-year-old Bobby Baseball on the show later.
Do a little postmortem on the New York Mets, I guess.
Yes. And a little look forward to see what's going on in 2015. It wasn't a terrible season. It was based, I guess, on expectations.
Yeah.
If you were really expecting 90 wins, I guess it was a terrible.
Yeah.
It was an unfulfilling season, but But I have to say, we'll talk about this a little later.
Talk about it with Bobby.
But there was a point in the season that I was drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, I did a little research because I wanted to see what their high water mark was. We'll talk about that later on too, and what their low water mark was.
Right. All right, so we'll do that now. Let's talk about what's been going on.
All right. I just want to say one thing. I guess the big local news was this tragic event that happened with this junior from Shoring Wading River, Tom Cutinello.
Yes.
Cutinella, I think, who died from a football hit on Wednesday, and it's. I think there was the third death in a high school football in a week.
Yes.
There's one down in North Carolina. I think another one down in New Jersey.
Was it something that was physically wrong with him?
Well, they don't know yet. They don't know yet. He took a shot. Okay. Took a shot and got up, collapsed. They took him to the hospital, and he died at the hospital.
So it was a real football-related injury.
Yes.
It wasn't it wasn't something that like he had a heart problem that they didn't know about until later on.
Right.
Okay. All right. High school football, you start looking at all the practices and the things and stuff like that.
Well, was it an equipment thing? I mean, what I had read is basically, you don't even need to get hit in the head to get a concussion.
No.
It's all about the way your head moves, and
It's the
I guess,
snapping,
when you're
really,
younger, I guess your brain is still expanding or whatever, and you get hit in the chest and basically that can happen too. But they say it was a big hit, is what they said. I've read a couple of accounts.
Most football players don't want their children to play football.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Rocky probably has said that too, although I think his daughters were playing football. So it's okay that the sons don't, but the daughters can, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe they don't hit as hard.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
And I guess the other big news was, and we were going to talk about this last week, we didn't have the show last week, was ex-Yankee pitcher Phil Hughes. He signed an off-season contract with the Minnesota Twins. He had a performance bonus in his contract that if he pitched 210 innings, he was going to get a bonus of $500,000. And last Wednesday, he was pitching. He was up to 209 2/3 innings. He's got one out to go.
One more out he's got to go.
One out to go, and there was a rain delay that forced him out of the game. And, there was still a few games left in the season, so they thought maybe they'd get him in. But the Minnesota Twins initially said, season's over for you. We're shutting you down. And then Ron Gardenhire, who was, I guess, fired this past week, he said, hey, listen, I'll get you in for the other third of an inning. And Phil Hughes, I guess being an ex-Yankee, maybe Derek Jeter wore off on him.
Right.
And he said, hey, listen, that wouldn't be the right thing. We were fighting for a playoff spot or something like that, I'd be available, but it's just not right. So it'll be interesting to see what the Twins do. If the Twins, let that third of an inning, clause go and pay him the money anyway,
Yeah.
Well, you get the bean counters are probably saying, no, he didn't do that,
And did they ever give him the money? Do we know?
I don't know.
We'll have to find that out.
Yeah, I'll do a little research on that. Yeah.
That would be the right thing to do.
It would be.
But maybe that's why he got fired.
My God, no, Well, they've had a couple of bad seasons in a row now, I think.
Yeah. All right. Did you hear about Alex Rodriguez?
I haven't heard anything about Alex Rodriguez. He's been kind of quiet, you know. I mean, even with all these Derek Jeter festivities, I mean, you know, he was noticeably absent from any conversation.
So now it's goodbye Derek and hello Alex.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So A-Rod's suspension is over at the completion of the World Series, right? So that means he's officially back with the Yankees. So Rodriguez, and he's going to be 40.
40, okay.
During the season next year. He was suspended at the end of last season. Most people know that.
Right.
So he's not able to work out at all with them. So Joe Girardi was asked about possible distractions for the return of A-Rod, right? And so this is what he have to say. We have a
couple of
we
quotes
have a
there?
clip, but we have a
Okay.
quote here. Okay. He says, we'll do everything we can so that it's not a distraction. I think our players will handle it fine. Something else will happen in sports, and the focus will be off him again.
Okay.
All right? But really, that's what he's banking on?
Well, you don't know. I mean, you know, he's been a good citizen, I think, this year. Like I say, he's really stayed out of the limelight, you know, which is not like Alex Rodriguez, you know. Like I say, him being 40, he only played about, I don't know, about 40, 50 games last 2 years ago?
Yeah, he came back in like August.
Yeah. And he paid till the end of the year, and that was it. So, you know, it's a big question mark for the Yankees.
So,
it really is.
Again, Girardi says they were talking about whether or not A-Rod, again, you know, let me read the quote. He says, I don't think it'll be an issue. Will he have to deal with angry fans? Yeah, but we'll help him get through that.
And we can also put him in contact with Geno Smith about angry fans, okay? You know.
He says, when's the last time Alex did not have to deal with that?
Well, that's true.
It's not like something that he's not used to. Sometimes players thrive on that. And they said, maybe it'll help him. But you know what? What I don't understand is that players deal with angry fans, but it's on the road. Not both on the road and at home. You know what I mean?
Can you say that about Geno Smith?
No, Geno Smith, they cheer him on the road.
Yes.
They want him to play.
That's true. That's true. It's a hospital home environment for him.
So at any rate, and then you know, they talked about how he is going to be their third baseman next year, but he hasn't played. He hasn't played the whole year. So
Maybe they can get him to play first, because Tex seems to always break down. You know. Moving from third to first.
The other thing is, you know, he's approaching several easily obtainable milestones.
Okay.
This year, he's going to get 3,000 hits. He only needs about 60 hits. He's going to get 2,000 runs batted in.
Okay.
And he only needs, I think, 6 home runs or 7 home runs to to surpass Willie Mays.
Okay.
I really want to see what Major League Baseball is going to do.
Well,
how do they celebrate that? Now, the Yankees are going to most likely do something to celebrate, to sell some tickets.
Yeah.
But I like to see what they're going to do.
We shall see.
I wanted to talk about a little bit about Derek Jeter, but I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I'm getting
That's
sick.
last week's news, man. The only thing is he started up, I guess, a blog this week, right?
Yeah,
we
they
found
started-
out he's afraid of cats.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what? I wanted to go on to there and see what was on there, but maybe we'll do that next week.
Okay.
We'll talk about that next week. I did want to just read you a quote from David Wells.
Okay.
Derek
David
Jeter.
Wells, he's a party man, a party animal himself.
Well, you know, the thing around town was, you know, Jeter's this perfect player and this, you know, he's the best guy ever. David Wells says that he did party with them.
Yeah.
He would go out with everyone, but he says he kept it clean. He's smart. You pick your spots. Don't get me wrong. He went out with the boys, and he had fun and an open mind about a lot of things. Okay. He says he just knew that he had the knack to get out when he needed to.
Well, okay. One of my friends told me a long time ago, when you're being indiscreet, be discreet, okay? And it sounds like that was probably his mantra as well, you know?
All right. And so Derek Jeter just knew. He knew when to go home.
Good for him.
That's why he's the captain.
That's right. You know, he knew where the line was. He never went over it.
You know. And the other really funny thing that we were both talking about before was Prince Amukamara,
Yeah, okay.
who is the Giants. He's a football player on the New York Giants.
Yeah, he's a cornerback.
He's a cornerback. His teammate, Antrell Roll, thinks that the reason why he's having a breakout season is because he's now scoring on the field.
I see.
Off the field.
Off the field.
After a life of celibacy.
Well, yeah.
Okay. They said they used to call him the Black Tebow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they called him the Black Tebow because for his insistence on avoiding premarital sex.
Mm-hmm.
But they said he's been playing with this swagger and this whole thing this year, and he got married.
A little nookie will do that for you. Won't it?
So he says, Antrell Roll says, there are a lot of things different about Prince.
Uh-huh.
He says, for one thing, he's married, so he's enjoying things that he wasn't experiencing before.
Okay.
Right? For a man, I'm just being honest, it's helping him out. He walks around with a little more swagger. That's what he says. So, of course, they said to, what's his name, Amakamura.
Yeah.
They're asking him about it, and he says it's kind of comical. Although he did say, when he was coming off the field and all the reporters were saying, yes, I am having sex.
I'm no longer celibate.
Right.
Okay.
But he was bracing for his wife.
Yeah.
Because he says, I know when I have to go, I have a lot of explaining to do to my wife. He says, I'm sure her phone's probably blowing up.
And I think his wife took it the right way too. I know that Raul, he went over to Mukamura, I guess, yesterday and said, hey, is your wife mad at me? I thought, I told him, and this is Mukamura talking, he says, I told her she wasn't. She was cool with it, and she even retweeted the article. And then he said, so there were definitely no hard feelings. I don't know how there can be no hard feelings there or whatever, okay? And then they said the only hard feelings was basically they started asking Tom Coughlin the same question. He goes, anybody got a legitimate question for me is what he said,
I get to see Tom Coughlin is not that guy.
Exactly.
Tom Coughlin don't play.
I know, exactly right. I wonder if Tom Coughlin is celibate. I don't know. He's got some kids, though, so I guess that's impossible.
Well, 2 or 3 times in 30 years.
Yeah, okay.
You get lucky.
Yep.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Broken clock is right twice a day, right?
All righty. So we're just getting started here on the Glory Day show. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the chaos that is the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And what's going on over there in the swamps of Jersey. Mm-hmm. Later on, we'll talk to 13-year-old Bobby O'Brien about the Mets and we'll give our predictions for the World Series.
Okay, sounds good.
Baseball playoffs started this week. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on InRavio.com. We're coming right back.
InRavio.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. Bully News Network, coming soon to Enravio.com. An all-new weekly show highlighting the latest news and information about the epidemic of bullying. Join Scott Hislop as he explores the issues with Dr. Michelle Golland, along with parents, teachers, and school officials, and many others affected by bullying. We'll tell stories together and work toward finding a solution to this rampant problem. The Bully News Network premieres Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. only on Enravio.com.
Alrighty, let's talk about the pigskin pickup.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to talk about the pigskin pick'em. The pigskin pick'em is, our little thing that we do each week.
Picking who wins each game in football.
Right, and I think we have the standings to show. Alrighty, we're now 4 weeks in the books.
Yeah.
Of the Glory Days Pick'em, and our leader is still I Need a Bag of Ice,
Yeah.
who leads with 34 correct picks, followed closely by the Tenacious Titans with 31.
Yep. Since we're dropping the worst week, we have these standings reflect the 2 best weeks so far. And our favorite inanimate object, Sammy Stone, has dropped to 3rd place. He's still well ahead of me, though, I can tell you that. Yeah. And the Grease Man with 30 correct picks.
Yeah. And, your hosts are having a tough time of it.
I know that I am. I figured the first week I had 8. I said that's going to be my low water mark. I think I did 7 last week.
All right. At least my worst week is behind me. I had 4. Okay. If I have a week with less than 4, I'm in trouble anyway. But I've got 9 in each of the last 2 weeks. So I've got 28. And you put up a 6 spot last week, which is not much better than 4.
No, it's not.
But you're right behind me with 25.
Yep. Although Bleed Blue 84-228 is bringing up the rear with just 12. He hasn't made a pick in 3 weeks of the 4 weeks, so we'll just ignore him for now.
Yeah.
That leaves Her Snatch Hurts and the very aptly titled I'll Probably Lose in last place with 20.
Yeah. We don't get in trouble for saying team names, do we?
I hope not.
As long as we don't say Redskins?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Is that the issue? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You can follow along with the 2014 Glory Days Pigskin Pick'em on ESPN.com fantasy games. Remember, we'll review the standings every week on the air, and the winner will get a segment
with us
at the end of the show.
So it sounds like right now John Puccio is in that lead with I Need a Bag of Ice.
Yeah, he's also got
Her Snatch Hurts. Okay.
in last place, so
Yeah,
he's covering everything.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. From the high to the low to the end of the show.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the show.
All right. Sounds good.
Although I guess that's part of the show.
It is.
All right. Let's see.
What about the New York Jets and
Let's talk
Geno
about
Smith?
The Jets. Okay.
Yeah. What a mess.
All right. After losing a very winnable game to the Detroit Lions, 24-17.
That's becoming a recurring theme. There have been 3 games. They're 1-3, and I think all those losses they could have won.
Right. Geno Smith was caught on camera saying "F you" to the Jet fans as he left the field.
Yep.
Smith threw 2 fourth-quarter interceptions and was booed throughout the game.
Yep.
And the fans were chanting for backup Michael Vick. So he immediately responded, and of course he said "F you" to a fan.
Yeah.
He immediately responded in a press conference after the game that I should have never let that situation get escalated that far. So Coach Rex Ryan, Rex didn't find out about it.
He's gotten himself in trouble himself.
Well, he spoke to Smith at Monday, and there was if you remember, I think it was the Super Bowl. He was fined $75,000 for cursing at fans at the Super Bowl. So this is what Rex Ryan had to say.
Okay.
To Geno Smith. He said, "Unfortunately, I've made the same mistake. It's frustrating at times because you are giving everything you have, and unfortunately, it hasn't been good enough for these last 3 weeks. But I certainly recognize that our fans are feeling the pain."
Mm-hmm. Now, the big thing, I was wondering, what could these fans have said to Geno Smith to get him to, drop the F-bomb on him?
Outside of "you suck"?
Well, I mean, is that amazing? I mean, so I'm watching, I guess, Channel 2, and they're talking about, oh, we have the exclusive, the person that caused Geno Smith to explode.
How do they
and
know
the
who it
two
was?
words were, "You suck." They said, that can't be what it was to make him drop the F-bomb,
Well,
and the guy supposedly is a Giant fan, besides which,
Well, Michael Vick
Yeah.
was fined $11,000 for giving the fans in Atlanta the finger.
Okay.
In 2006 when he played for the Falcons. I was in Atlanta, and they fined him $11,000.
And then they fined Johnny Manziel $12,000 for giving the Washington team the finger in the preseason game.
This was 2006.
I know, so it's inflation, I guess.
So this is what Michael Vick had to say.
Okay.
Okay, and I want you to enjoy this graphic. Because
Okay.
I know you will. He said that his giving the fans the finger was directed at the opposing team's fans. It wasn't our fans. I would never do that.
Right.
And those are two of.
And he could have just said,
Michael
I
Vick's
was just saying we're number one, that's all. Just I used the wrong finger, that's all.
But also, our other quarterback in New York, Eli Manning.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what his first name is, by the way?
I have no idea.
It's Elijah.
Elijah. Okay.
He's gone through much of the same reaction, especially in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing so poor in 2007. They were burning his jerseys out in the parking lot. But then they got hot, and they made the playoffs at 9-7, and they won the freaking Super Bowl.
We're in the Super Bowl. I can say World Series. Yeah.
So this is what he had to say. He says, "I try not to cross the line.
Mm-hmm.
You can always think things, but for the most part, if they're yelling at you, you probably deserve it."
And that's truer words than have been spoken.
Right. All righty. But the Jets are it's like a mutiny.
They're a mess. Well, it's not a mutiny because, you know what, the team is standing behind Geno Smith right
That's
now.
what
If they lose one more game, who knows what's going to happen.
They had one of those team-only meetings,
Yes.
the offense. And of course, they're all behind him because nobody's going to really start a controversy. But they play San Diego this week.
Yeah.
Right? They got to face Phillip Rivers. Then next week,
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning's coming, and the following week they're going to Foxborough to play Tom Brady and the.
That's the only saving grace here is that Tom Brady looks horrible too, and they look terrible Monday night against Kansas City.
But now here's my problem.
Okay.
If Rex Ryan stays with him, okay, they could possibly be 1-6.
Yeah.
All right. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they lose the next 3 games. But what does that mean? At that point, it's too late to make a change. Your season is finished.
Well, Rex is in a tough spot. He really is. I think he needs to. If they really believe that Geno Smith is the future of this team, they got to stick with him and ride this horse. Like what they say, you dance with the girl you came to the prom with. I mean,
Well, this is what Rex had to say. He said, "I don't anticipate us as a team continuing to struggle. We have guys that believe in each other. I think to a man that our team believes in Geno.
In Geno we trust.
In
Okay.
Geno we trust." You know what I don't understand? Ryan always loved Michael Vick, which is why he's here. Marty Morningweg, he loves Michael Vick. But Smith is a lifetime. I mean, why not make the change right now?
Yeah.
Right now. Would anybody complain?
Well,
other than Geno Smith.
did you? I know you watch. I guess Red Zone. So I'm not sure you watched the Jet game on Sunday.
I did. I watched the Jet game.
But at halftime, they were talking about what do they do?
Right.
And finally, Michael Strahan said, "You got to put Vic in." They said, "Well, how about Geno Smith?" He goes, "There's no crying in football," is what he said.
Well, the question is, does he even have the authority to make the quarterback change?
Who?
Rex Ryan.
He has to.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
However, they asked him that as a press conference.
Yeah.
And I want to show you.
I think he backpedaled on that answer, though.
Yes, because I want to know whether it was a Rex Ryan decision or an Idzik decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you ask Woody Johnson?
Well, when asked directly if he could make a quarterback change if he wants to, Rex offered this strange response. And see, we got this picture of Rex.
Yes, okay.
To say
I don't think the head should be in the sand. I think his head should be up his behind. I think is where it should be. But
To say who's going to outright make that call, I'd rather not say those things. It'll be a team decision.
Yeah. I had seen that, and then I thought later on he said it was his decision. That was what he said as the head
that's
coach.
what he's saying now. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's not what he said.
The
first
damage has
time.
already been done.
The damage
right?
has been
Cat's
done.
already out of the bag.
You know, here's what's going to happen. If the Jets continue to lose, he's going to lose the locker room. Rex Ryan will lose the locker room.
He's going to lose his job is what's going to happen.
And he's going to lose the job. Four straight losing seasons,
Yeah.
they're going to be done.
Yeah. And, he did not get a ring of endorsement from Woody Johnson yesterday.
No,
You
not
know?
at all. But it wasn't,
He said they're all underperforming, But, he did stop short of saying if they don't make the playoffs, somebody will be fired. He says at the end of the season, we always go through our evaluation process.
But here's my big thing.
Yeah.
Before we go to break, one
Yeah.
last thing about the Jets. They're $25 million under the cap.
That's unbelievable.
And you've got a team that's got a lot of holes, and you couldn't go out and fill those holes.
Yeah.
To me, that's a big problem. Because you can't say that, oh, we're going to be fine. You can't say people are underperforming. You're $25 million. If you're right at the cap, and you're,
but that's
your
not a
players are
panacea either. I mean, they've also, if you look at their drafting,
Yeah.
a lot of these guys that they drafted aren't on the team anymore.
Right. And two things: drafting, signing players, I guess being under the cap, players underperforming. That is not the head coach's.
No, it's not.
That is the John Idzik.
Yep.
So anyway, speaking of football,
It's halftime.
it's halftime here. We're going to head into the locker room and regroup. When we come back out, let's talk about the baseball playoffs and our beloved Mets. We'll take a peek into their strengths and weaknesses for the 2015 season with our good pal, 13-year-old Bobby O'Brien. We like to call him Bobby Baseball.
Yeah, okay.
You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco only on radio.com. We're coming right back.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice, and we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio.com TV
Hello.
network. The baseball playoffs are underway, and for the second consecutive year, no New York team is involved in the playoffs. Both the Mets and Yankees again. But for the Mets, it's been 8 years since Carlos Beltran left the bat on his shoulder in a Game 7 that would have put us into the World Series.
Yeah.
And it's been 6 consecutive years without a winning record. It's the third year in the Terry Collins, Sandy Alderson regime, and for the first time, there seems to be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
I think it's a lot of light. I really
You
do.
know,
And I don't think it's an oncoming train either, which is the good
No,
news.
which
you know?
it always seems to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at the end of every year, we always say, oh, next year, but every year,
Right.
they had this terrible August and September collapse, and they always had so many question marks going into the year. But this year, it seems like we might have answered a few questions. We might have found a few gems this year.
Yeah. I mean, there are still some questions for sure. I mean, they finished 79 and 83, well short of the 90 win goal
Right.
that's set by general manager
Oh,
Sandy
I'm
Alderson.
sorry. I can't hear anything. I think there's a bad connection.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we could hear you.
hey,
Okay.
is that Bobby? Can you hear us?
I think he said he couldn't.
I can only hear you a little bit. There's static on the line.
Okay. Maybe we'll try to call you back. I'll kind of review the season, and we'll try to get you back, and we can talk about the questions that we have, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Well, he heard that.
So, well, you can hear, because I'm yelling. No. So, like I said, they went 79-83, well short of the 90 win goal that set by Sandy Alderson. 4 games under 500, which isn't all that bad. Despite that, there were several bright spots. The bullpen looked like solidified. We had Mejia, Familia, Vic Black.
Yeah.
Starting pitcher Jacob deGrom came out of nowhere and actually is probably a favorite to win the Rookie of the Year
Well,
with
you
a
know what?
9.6 record, 2.63 ERA, and 144 strikeouts.
You know what? They won 15 games in April, and they won 15 games in September.
Yep.
So of their 78 wins, okay, May, June, July, and August, they only won 48 games in that 4-month span.
Yeah, well,
You know?
first base, Lucas Duda emerged as a power-hitting first baseman. He had 30 home runs, 92 RBIs. Juan Lagares is the real deal. Daniel Murphy had a good season. Travis d'Arnaud, they sent him down. He came back. He started to hit.
Right.
Bartolo Colon pitched pretty well. He won 15 games.
15 games.
You know?
All
They had
right,
lowlights too, though. Bobby Parnell's season ended the first game of the season.
Right.
David Wright had a subpar season.
He was hurt most of the year.
Yeah,
He didn't tell
and he
anybody.
didn't tell anybody. Curtis Granderson is a big question mark, I think. Chris Young, they finally had to jettison the guy.
Right.
You know, they had a high water mark. You talk about 15 wins. At the end of April, they were 15 and 11, 4 games over 500. Their low point was July 2nd and July 5th when they were 11 games under 500, 37 and 48 and 38 and 40, or 39 and 40, 48, 49.
We have Bobby on the phone again?
Okay.
All righty.
Bobby, can you hear us better this
All
time?
right, on our
Yeah, I
phone.
can-
Okay,
Very
on
good.
our
Hear a
phone
little
is
better
a Met fan who's known only heartache and misery.
Yeah.
And none of the real glory days
No.
for the Mets. 13-year-old Bobby O'Brien, or as we like to call him,
Bobby Baseball.
Bobby, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Before we get into the Mets, I want to ask you a quickie question about the baseball playoffs. And we're going to
Okay.
talk about the playoffs, but my question is, have you gotten to watch much of it at all because of it all being on late at night?
Yeah, I've watched. I watched the Cardinals game yesterday. I've watched the Nationals and Giants series. I've seen some of the. I haven't watched too much of the Baltimore and Detroit series, but I've been getting the updates from Anaheim too,
Right.
the Royals series. So
Well,
I've
that's been
catching
on
up
kind of
it.
late.
But
Yeah,
yesterday, there were 4 games on. It went from 12 o'clock till, I don't know when that last game was over, because
Right.
it went into extra innings, you know? It must have been over about after midnight, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Kansas City or the Angels game.
Yeah.
I saw the Cardinals game though. That was an incredible comeback. They were down 6-1 with Kershaw dealing
Yeah.
and going into the 7th, and then they had 5 straight hits.
Did you think that
And
they should have
Carpenter
taken him
came up
out?
and-
You think they should have taken him out when Mattingly came out to talk to him in the 7th inning?
I wasn't sure. I think that was more of a manager's decision because we know Kershaw. He had an ERA under 2
Yeah.
this regular season, so he's definitely capable of getting out of a jam like that. It was just at this particular time, Carpenter beat him in an 11-pitch at-bat and cleared the bases.
I thought, right at the time, and I'm not playing Monday morning quarterback here. Before Mattingly even came out, I was with my brother last night,
Yeah.
and I said, he's done. He's got to come out.
Yeah,
And-
maybe it would have been better to take him out because he was getting roughed up. Before the 7th inning, they only had 2 hits off him.
Well, they hadn't gotten a hit since the first. He gave up the home
He had
run. the
16
first
outs
guy
in a
up.
row at one
Right.
point, you know? But like you say,
Yeah.
once he went bad, he went downhill quickly is what happened with
I
him.
mean, they had bases loaded. They had bases loaded and no outs. He gets an out. Then he gives up 2 consecutive singles. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it's 6-4. He still has the bases loaded. Although he did get the next out. It just, that's when Mattingly came out, and I guess Kershaw talked him out of it. But it's not like he had a low pitch count. And I'm not a big fan of pitch counts at all. But 115 pitches, and you haven't even gotten out of the 7th inning yet.
Yeah.
I thought that's a lot. And I
Yeah,
understand
maybe,
he's your
maybe it would have
ace.
been smarter to take Kershaw out. I mean, the Dodgers have a good bullpen with a lot of arms out there. They could bring in like J.P. Howell or different guys like that.
And what is
So
this
that
thing
could
with
probably definitely get them out of a jam like that.
what is this thing with teams giving up 8 runs in an inning in the playoffs?
Yeah.
It happened the other day in Baltimore. I mean, that was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Detroit's
a 4-3
bullpen is
game.
shaky, man.
It was a 4-3
Yeah.
game. They gave up 8
Yeah.
runs.
Yeah, that was horrible for
Yep.
the Tigers. Java Chamberlain has a postseason ERA of about 108 now.
And it's just so funny.
That's about the
because-
size of his waist, I think, too. But
Well, Baltimore, that Detroit, I mean, they're coming at you in a 5-game series with 3 consecutive Cy Young Award winners.
yeah, and they've lost 2 games.
And they lost the first 2 games.
Well,
Why
when you look at their rotation, Verlander did not have a good season at all, and Scherzer didn't have an amazing season. It's really David Price who they're gonna have to rely on. I don't really think Verlander and Scherzer are that reliable.
I agree with
Such
you.
a quick series like this because it's really just a flip of a coin when it's just a 5-game series.
The good news they have is that they got Price going. I guess they play tomorrow, I think, is when
Yes, they play tomorrow.
Yeah.
They play. They played 2 games in Detroit, Sunday and Monday. Price, and then they probably come. And then I assume they come back with Scherzer.
Yeah.
Scherzer.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
So unfortunately, it's hard to pick this series because it's already 2-0.
Well, the other series is 2 games to none, too, right?
But I did like Baltimore to begin with.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. Now I know, Bobby, you haven't seen much of this, but Kansas City beats Anaheim twice.
Yep. In
that was-
11 innings, both nights. 3-2,
3 straight
and then
extra
4-1
inning
last
wins.
night.
Right. They're the first
They-
team in Major League history to ever win 3 consecutive postseason extra inning games.
Yes, and the Angels had the best record
Best
in
record in
the
baseball.
American League, so you're not expecting a team like the Royals to go and beat them twice in a row in extra innings.
I mean, they had 90.
They're the Cinderella team this year. I really believe so.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know?
they had the best record in baseball. They had 98 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes teams like this just get hot. And now you're going home for 2 games. I tell you right now, they need to wrap it up.
I
They have to
tell
wrap
you
it up
who's
Sunday.
enjoying this. George Brett, man. He's having a good time right now. He's partying with everybody, I'm sure.
You know.
Yeah, the Royals are really putting together like a magical season so
But
far.
I have to tell you, when it comes to a 2-0, you got a 2-game lead and you're going home in a 5-game series, you got to close it out.
Well,
Yeah, they've got a huge
Yep.
advantage now.
that's true.
Because what'll happen is you're a young team. If you lose game 3, you know you got to win game 4 at home, and that puts a lot of pressure on a
Yeah.
young team. So I think they would have to.
Yeah.
They're going to have to wrap it up.
Yep.
There's a lot of pressure on them to take. They have to take one of these next 2 games, so you don't want to go back to Anaheim with the Angels having the momentum.
No, not at all.
That huge lineup they've got. And
That's right. Well, that would be
I think
game
Jared
5.
Weaver would
so
get the start.
if it goes 5 games, I think you have to go
They're
with
in
the
trouble.
Angels.
They're in trouble if it goes 5 games.
Yep.
So let's talk about L.A. and St. Louis for now, since that's only 1 game.
Yeah.
I still think I don't like St. Louis. I don't know why. Maybe it's I still have bad feelings
I'm
about them.
not a fan of Los Angeles. I don't really like any of that. I don't like Puig. I don't like what Agon had to start up yesterday. I don't like Hanley Ramirez and his wonderful attitude.
Well, that's the whole thing with the Dodgers. They're like a bunch of
Prima donnas.
prima
They're a
donnas,
bunch
exactly.
of spoiled brats, if you ask
Well,
me.
brats, that's exactly right. So you like San Francisco in that series?
I like St. Louis.
No, that's St. Louis.
I mean St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like St. Louis. I was really shocked that Waino had such a bad outing yesterday. Gave up 6 runs in 4 1/3 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was shocked about it. He's their big guy. You've got Lance Lynn going today, but Adam Wainwright really is their best pitcher by far.
I hate Adam Wainwright.
For obvious reasons.
It's obvious reasons. Who do you like in that series?
In the Dodgers series, I like St. Louis.
All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I
I'm
still
liking
think.
St. Louis too.
I still think Los Angeles is going to come back and win that series. Although remember, St. Louis beat the Dodgers last year in the NLCS to get to
Yeah,
the
in
World
the
Series.
championship series, they beat
Right.
them last year.
And then St. Louis went to championship against Boston, and Boston beat them.
I
All
have
right,
faith in the Cardinals. I have faith in the Cardinals.
all right. I'm going to put that down on paper, and then I'm going to call you out on it.
Okay.
All right, now Washington and San Francisco. Is there anyone in this room, between me, you, and Bobby, that wants Washington to win?
No.
Now wants them to win.
They're not going to win.
Okay, so you think San Francisco?
I think San Francisco's going to win the World Series again.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
San
It's gonna
Francisco hasn't lost a playoff series in a while. It
They've
seems
won
like
9
one year-
straight. They've won 9 straight playoff games.
It seems like one year they're out of it, and the next year they're in it. And this year, they're in it again. And they won the wild card game, and they took the first game yesterday. And I didn't think they stood a chance against Washington, but now I'm starting to rethink that.
You can't go against a manager whose name is Bruce. Okay? Bruce Bochy.
Well, other than the Cardinals, okay, the Cardinals who have, I think they've won 11. They've won 11 World
Yeah,
Series. The
yeah.
Cardinals. The Giants have won 7. The Giants have won 7 World Series. It seems that when they get in the playoffs, they do well.
And that's why I'm going with them. I mean, they are a team that, when they get there, they are trouble.
Yeah, they've got 2 World Series in the last.
Boy, yeah,
4
that's
years,
right.
I
2012, 2010.
So this is
Yeah.
their year. Mm-hmm. 2014.
Every-
I think so.
All right. So you taking San Francisco?
I don't know about that series. That's the one series I'm kind of on edge about. Like, I was taking Baltimore, and I was taking Los Angeles, but I don't know about now. I was taking St. Louis, but I really couldn't tell with Washington. It's hard to bet against Washington. They have such a good team.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go on record and telling you that I was also going for Baltimore, and I also thought the Angels would beat the Royals. So I mean,
Yeah, it's hard to go against
if they
the
go
Angels,
down,
too.
I'll take the hit on that one. What did you think about Baltimore? Be honest.
I thought Baltimore.
And a lot of people underrate Baltimore. They think because the Tigers have that 3-4 combo of Martinez and Cabrera, and they have some some big-name pitchers that they're going to just take Baltimore
Yeah.
easily. But I think Baltimore's a really good team. I
All
think
right, so
they're
who do
underrated.
you think is going to win this San Francisco-Washington?
I don't know. I think Washington might come back and take it.
All right, so we're putting you down for Washington. They beat Strasburg yesterday.
I know they did.
You know.
That's a tough one.
And they had a chance, you know, they had the bases loaded in, I guess it was the 7th inning.
Right.
And they're swinging for the fence. All they need is a single, and these
Right.
guys are trying to hit a grand slam, and the guy strikes out.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, you know what? Other than
They're
I
an
think-
undisciplined team. That's their problem, you know? And their manager is a new manager. That's why I think you got to go with the Giants. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, that's true and all, but when you look at the offensive statistics and the statistics as far as pitching,
Yeah.
Washington has better statistics in every single category
Right.
Yeah.
over the Giants except for average.
Yeah.
The Giants have by 3 points.
And Clayton
The regular
Kershaw was a great pitcher in the regular season, and he blew up last night. So
That's
you
true.
got to throw those statistics out the window sometimes, I think.
You know, when you're on that big stage, and you know, it was very cool. You know, you forget being a Met fan. You know, we don't get to see too many playoff games, but you forget about the intensity of a playoff game, and you could see it in every one of those games. Other than the Baltimore blowout in the first game of the series, they won 12-3 or something, 12-3.
12-3.
Every one of these games has been back and forth.
It's great watching this fundamental baseball. You see these guys that hit the cutoff man. You know, there's a bang play at the
Right.
plate. You know, on Cabrera, he got thrown out at the plate, and they would have had 7 runs. Detroit. They wound up getting, you know, and in the next inning, you know, there's a bang play at the plate, and you know what?
Did you see that slide?
Yeah, it was a great slide. And it was not a great slide by Cabrera. He slid into that tag is what happened. You
The
know?
guy, Bobby, did you see the slide the kid from Baltimore made? They were down 6-3, or was it 6-4 at the time?
Yeah.
The guy comes up, Delvin Young, pinch hit double.
Yeah, Delvin Young hit the double
Right.
down the line. And
Pinch hit double, but the play was the guy who scored from first, and I don't remember his name. He did a head first slide outside of the plate. The catcher was by close to the
Was it
pitcher.
head first? I thought he went.
No, it was head first, and then he.
He got his arm in there for sure.
Yeah, I thought
you
it was
know?
head first.
No,
and
I
then
think he went on his
He
behind.
swung his arm
Yep.
around the tag, hitting the plate. It was fantastic slide.
But both of those plays, I mean, there was the relay, the turnaround. It was these guys. They're all very accurate with their throws too. You know.
All right, Bobby,
the
we're
best-
starting to run out of time, so I need to know. I need to know what you thought about the Mets season.
I think it was a definite improvement from last year. They got closer to 500 baseball. I think in the off season they have to pick up some big bats because their pitching rotation is starting to come together. Their bullpen's been great, and they're developing. I think they got to get some middle of the lineup guys, maybe a shortstop, maybe another outfielder because I don't know if Granderson's going to cut it. And I don't think Colon fits into the rotation at all with all these young guys coming up. He wasn't an innings eater this year. He had like 220 innings, but now it's time for him to go.
But don't you think you want to keep him just in case? Who's going to take him for $10 million?
That's the problem.
That's the only problem. You got to try to get rid of him, and if you can, you can stick him in the rotation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the money is. I mean, but he proved that he could still pitch. I mean, you know, so hopefully
And
somebody else.
What do we do with Nice and G? You know, DeGrom is
Matt
gonna come
Harvey,
back.
Zach
you know
Wheeler.
Harvey,
DeGrom,
and you know Wheeler.
Harvey, Wheeler.
Right. Now
G,
that
Neese,
leaves.
Syndergaard's coming up.
Well, that leaves
You have,
that leaves 2 spots for 4 guys.
Yep.
Nice, G, Syndergaard, Montero.
Mm-hmm.
And and Montero.
Right. So that leaves 2 spots for those 4 guys, and doesn't even count Cologne.
That's right.
So you got
And
5 possible guys.
They got to trade some of these guys to get the shortstop that they need, is what it comes
Yeah.
down to. And it's not Wilmer Flores. I
No.
don't think
Not
it is.
Tejada.
You know?
You know what?
It's not
I
Tejada,
gotta
that's
tell
right.
you, if we didn't have any chips to trade,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say we'll keep Flores at short.
He's
but-
not a good defensive shortstop.
No,
he
he's
has
not.
no range, that guy. I don't care how well he hits. You need somebody to, you know, the guy has got to play. That's a tough defensive position.
Oh,
you need
you
to have
know
a
what?
good defensive player there.
If
And
we-
he's not the best hitter on the planet either. He
Yeah.
batted like well under 250, I believe.
Yep.
But I think he's got the tools there to hit. Remember, Darno didn't do well last year, coming up as a rookie. I just like
Disco,
Flores'
he
bat.
can't. He's not a good fielder. They need
No,
a good
he's not.
fielder at shortstop.
But I got to tell you, he's a very good second baseman.
Well, that's a possibility. What do you do with Daniel
What do
Murphy?
you do
then?
with Murphy now?
Yeah.
Murphy has to stay.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone says. He's the team's best hitter by far. The only one who comes close is Duda, and it's only because he had 30 home runs. His average was around 250. Murphy's the best hitter by far, and he does just fine at second base defensively. I don't think you can get rid of him. He's got to be a guy you got to build around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about what to do with him.
I wonder who's going to be the hitting coach. Could be Bobby Abreu, Edgardo Alfonso. I mean,
That would be pretty cool.
you know, I think that'd be cool. Either of those guys would be cool. Who's going to be the closer? Is Parnell going to get his role back, or are they going to stay with Mejia? I mean, they have a bunch of good bullpen plays. Are the fences going to come in this year?
Yeah.
You know, will they move Granderson to left field? I think
I
that
don't know
would be a
about
good.
Granderson.
What do we do with him then?
You can try to trade him. I don't know who would take him.
You got to
We have Lagares in center.
Yeah.
Dendecker's coming around a little bit. And maybe you could get a big bat in the outfield in the offseason if you can get rid of Granderson. Because he's just not going to. He hit 20 home runs, but he had like 215.
Yeah, I think we're
I mean,
stuck
he
with
came-
Granderson.
he
I think
came,
we got to. He doesn't have a great arm though. They got to move him to
No.
left field. Is what they
No,
got.
They have to
not.
at least
You
move
know?
him to left field, and he had a really good September. He hit 300 in September.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all right, we'll figure it out.
Can they beat Washington 4-15 this
That was
year,
a big
man?
thing.
That was the killer.
All we got to do is split with Washington, and we would have been
I mean,
in
they
the
started
hunt.
out the first 3 games they lost. They started out 0-3. You know.
And guess what? First 3 games next year in Washington.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well,
all righty,
that's not
Bobby.
good.
Thanks for taking the time with us today.
All right, no problem.
All right, Bobby.
We'll
thanks.
talk. Maybe we'll talk again when we get to the World Series.
All right.
That sounds good.
All righty, man.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Bobby. Do we actually have a caller? We have a caller.
Talk again when we get to the World.
Hello.
Sounds good.
Hey, who's on the phone?
Hey,
Caller, identify yourself.
Identify yourself, please.
it's your son.
Oh, it's Kevin.
It's not my son. It's your son.
It's my Kevin. All right, you got 30 seconds. Go ahead. No, I'm kidding.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Bold prediction: Royals are going to win the World Series.
Wow. Okay.
You're going with the Royals winning the World Series?
I'm going with the Royals.
I
They're
think
too
that's
good. Their pitching is too good.
That's a sentimental pick. You know, and I think a lot of people are pulling for the Royals, Kevin. So I don't think it's bad. I mean, they're surprising us by taking care of the Angels so far. But
You know, that's going out on a pretty big limb.
it
there.
is. It is.
I know.
I think that's
So
why
why
the name
the
of your
bold
football
prediction?
team is I'll probably lose.
By the way, you're very prophetic because you you are currently in last place.
I would like to see them. I would like to see the Royals go far. I mean, and they're in the lottery
Well, listen,
here.
the
They could win.
last time they were even in the World Series, they won the World Series.
1985
I
or
mean,
86.
Not even
You know,
the last time they were in the playoffs.
They're undefeated in the playoffs
Yeah.
for the last 29 years.
Yep. I mean, they have an interesting team. They rely a lot on their speed. They take a lot of chances on the bases. They're moving. You know, they're stealing bases, and they're as good a team as any right now.
Hey, Kevin, you got time for us next week?
Yeah, I guess.
We're gonna talk about hockey next week.
The hockey season starts.
We'd like you to do. Maybe you could do an Islander report for us next week.
Perhaps I will.
All right.
All righty.
And it was J.J. Hardy that slid into home.
It was J.J. Hardy. Okay, did he slide feet first or head first?
I believe it was feet first.
I think it was feet.
Mr.
I think
B
it
makes the
was
call.
like this, and that was it.
That was a good. That was the
Yep.
great. That was the best slide I've seen in a long time. All righty. All right, Kay. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Thanks. All right. So the K-Man checking in.
I thought he needed you to maybe pick him up because he ran out of gas or something. I don't know. That's what my son does all the time. You know.
No, he posted something on Facebook yesterday.
Okay.
That he's going to Brussels.
Oh, is he?
He bought a plane ticket to go to Brussels.
Wow. Good for him.
Guess what day he's coming back? He's going in November. He's coming back
Thanksgiving?
the day before Thanksgiving.
All right.
The worst travel day ever.
That's true.
He's coming back. So I hope you're hitching home from JFK because I'm not coming to pick you up from the airport. All righty, we are out of time, right?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, we got a couple more minutes. All right. So, what did we learn today on the Glory Day Show? You know, we need some sort of music for when we talk about what we learned about.
Oh yeah, okay.
Little piano music.
No, I think we need a little Twilight Zone music going on in the background.
All right, so we do have time for a break. All right, you know what? Then let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up, and we'll figure out what we learned on the show.
Sounds good.
Watching the Glory Day Show, Bruce and Disco, only on the InRadio.com TV network. We're going to come right back. Hang with the break.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, we're back. Welcome back to the Glory Day Show. Oh my goodness, it's the deer in the headlights syndrome. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here. So, what have we learned today on the Glory Day Show?
Well, I guess we learned that Eli Manning's first name is Elijah.
Elijah. Elisha.
Elisha.
Yes.
Oh, Elisha.
Elisha.
I guess I didn't learn anything then. I don't know.
Elijah would have made more sense.
All right, that's what I thought you said before. I wasn't paying attention.
You're a better football player if you're having sex.
Yeah. And Tom Coughlin, I don't think is getting any sex these days.
No, because he seems very uptight.
Yeah, exactly right. He's not so relaxed for sure.
You can you could set off Geno Smith by just saying you suck.
2 words. You suck. Derek Jeter knew when to go home. He was a team player. He hung out with the boys, but he knew when to go home because he knew, when you're being indiscreet, be discreet. Okay?
Discreet. Inanimate objects like
Sammy
Stone pick football games better than 75% of the humans.
including the host on the show.
I think that we don't pick well on purpose
Yeah.
because
Well, I got to tell you, every week I look at, because they always tell you, how many people are picking this team or whatever, And I've been trying to go on with, sometimes I say, well, okay, 75% of the people think these guys are going to win, I'm going to pick them, It's been a tough year to pick, though, so far. I don't think anybody's got a stellar record, really.
All right. Let's say thanks to our producer, Kyle.
Kyle Melnick.
Kyle Melnick, the new host of The Weekly Show.
Good for him.
Which can be seen here on radio.
Very
on,
photogenic there.
On Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock?
All right.
Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. And listen, vote for Kyle. Don't vote for the chick. Although she's much better to look at than Kyle.
Well, for us guys, for half the population,
All right. Thanks to Bobby Baseball for joining us today and helping us out with the Mets and the postseason.
Thanks to Bonnie in the control room there, too.
And thanks, Chuck and Bonnie, putting up with this nonsense week after week.
Yes.
After week after week. And, of course, thanks to you guys, our loyal fans, somebody actually called us today.
That's right.
So somebody, other than my computer,
And
which I
think-
leave on, just to make
I think
it
what I
look like
learned from him
somebody's
is that I
watching.
think we need to be checking his urine by him picking the
Yeah,
Kansas City Royals. Okay,
Drug testing for you, Kevin, next week. All right, next week, what do you say we start talking about a little hockey next
That'll be great. The hockey season starts, and
we'll talk about the
looking
Islanders, the
forward to that.
Rangers, the Devils, things like that.
Yep.
All right, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Don't forget check out the Gory Days on our archive page, or is that on our on-demand page?
on demand.
All righty. You can get our shows, you can get any of the radio shows in the archive page. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We will see you next week.
Have a good week.
Peace out.
InRavio.com.